Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson in the Johnson edition. We turn now to poem 480, Why Do I Love You, Sir? And it is interesting to pay attention to where the quotation marks are on this. Notice the quotation mark ends after the word love. Why do I love, quotation marks, you, capital Y, sir, question mark. It is interesting the way this poem is phrased, and in many ways we are back now to another poem where we're not completely sure who the sir of this poem is. In some ways we're back to poem 186 and the Sam Boyle's poem. When this poem was first published by the London Mercury, it happened in February of 1929, and then the New England Quarterly published it in 1947. Now our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily. Hopefully you worked through our set of introductory comments. I'm very hopeful that you worked through our preceding 479 poems. We just finished with 479, She Dealt Her Pretty Words. And if you have done that, then you'll be able to place a poem like this within the context and then, of course, the further study for us. Now, it seems as if Emily is saying to Sam, I can't explain it, but it is love. And Emily is very rarely going to use the phrase, I love you, and yet here it is. But notice it comes in the form of a question. Why do I love you, sir? Because the wind does not require the grass to answer, wherefore when he pass, she cannot keep her place. Because he knows, and do not you, and we know not, enough for us the wisdom it be so. The lightning never asked an eye, wherefore it shut when he was by, because he knows it cannot speak, and reasons not contained of talk. There be preferred by daintier folk. The sunrise, sir, compelleth me, because he's sunrise, and I see, therefore then, I love thee. So notice the poem begins with why do I love you, and ends with I love thee, or you, right? Now, it's interesting the word pictures that she uses. She uses three of them. Watch. She'll say, why do I love you, sir? And then she'll say, well, I love you in the same way that the wind doesn't require the grass to answer. In other words, what would we say? It's natural in every way. Wherefore, when he passed, she cannot keep her place. And I think this is the point Emily's making to whoever she sends this to, or did not send it to. Many think Sam never read this poem. She says, I can't keep my place. In other words, the force of your energy moves me in the same way that the wind moves the grass. Because, notice the repetition of because he knows. And notice the dash, do not you and we know not. By the way, this we know not will take us back to poem 382. Enough for us, the wisdom it be so. And I think the word enough is maybe the key word of the poem. In other words, it is enough that we both know what is going on. Nothing else has to be said. And then she goes to one last word picture of the lightning. The lightning never asked an eye, wherefore it shut, right? In other words, when lightning strikes, we blink our eyes, which he was by, because he knows it cannot speak, and reasons not contained. Love knows no why. It is a translinguistic, beyond words experience. And then she'll say it, of talk. And we can't talk about this. There be preferred by daintier folk. You'll remember daintier from 244. Finally, she finishes with the sunrise, sir, compelleth me. And I think compelleth here is the other really important word. Because, notice the third of them, he's sunrise. And then notice she finishes with the idea of sight. I see, therefore, then I love thee. Notice the rhyming of see and thee. And of course, Emily's use of the sun. We've seen this so many times. By the way, I love thee, we will have already seen in 456. We'll see it again in 549, 925, and 1410. It's the only times in her poetry that she'll actually come right out and say, I love you, or some variant of that. What exactly is she saying at 2a here? I think her argument is that love is beyond words. It's translinguistic. You can write about it as much as you want to. It's like trying to describe the sunrise or the sunset. It's never going to be enough. You're never going to have enough words. At 2b, well, obviously it's a question as to who the sir of this poem is, and then the quotation marks around it, quite fascinating in the first line. I'll let you guys study that one close. At 3a, well, of course, Emily knew Elizabeth Barrett Browning's Sonnets to the Portuguese, number 43, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways. We've given full lectures at learnstrong.net. Finally, at 3b, do you have someone in your life that you love like this? It's beyond words. In other words, you both know, but you can't say anything about it. And how would you explain love if you had to? I'm hopeful that some of you will say, maybe Emily's poetry is helping in that regards. Thank you.